All right, I can't tell if this is working. I really need a new phone. All right, my dears. Hopefully that gave enough people time to get their notifications if they got them on. You know, I never know exactly who these energies are for, but I always know when they're going to be a doozy, so just prepare yourself, I guess, if you know this has been your divine masculine's path, just in case there's anything that comes out that's a little emotional, because we just never know, right? Okay. All right. I think that the first thing we'll start with is just an energy check-in. Four of Swords and the Fool. This comes through as I'm stronger this time. Things are not going to be how they used to be. Heart of Stone. Queen of Pentacles. I'm wiser. I'm hearing like a song I know. I'm stronger, I'm wiser. I'll still have my new beginning. I'll have my new start, but I won't do that again. And the Moon. You know, we saw you, didn't we? I feel like this is the representation of the song that I was telling you guys I could hear. It's like the spiritual strength and understanding that comes from that new wisdom that divine masculine seems to have received. All right, we're gonna do, oh my goodness, maybe let's start here. All right. Okay. This. Okay, that's good, right? Okay, all right. I'd like to gain some insights here into where the divine masculine is, so that's why we're gonna use some of these runes. Okay. Energy. King of Wands. This to me symbolizes a new path. For me, I don't know why, but, and I think especially it goes with the energy of the Wands kingdom. This really always gives me the vibe of like a walking staff. And I feel like this says, I know that I'm going in a new direction. A direction is much more natural for me and who I am. But what are we missing here? The Ace of Cups. That what's natural for this divine masculine, where they used to not admit it, I think. They used to not be able to come to terms with this feeling that they had so deep, like, oh, I need love. Now there seems to be some sort of understanding within that it's just a part of them. All right. So what did you do? This isn't the energy I felt. It's so beautiful. It makes me like suspicious. It sounds so silly, but it does. What if we do just like that? All right. Whoa. That was fast. Should I just like... I'm curious to know from the divine feminines who are willing to share, what is it that your divine masculine, in terms of consequences for their actions, what is it that they have had to deal with? All right, we'll leave this here. Maybe I can put that there for the moment to get this out of the way, yeah? All right, there we go. So what is it that your divine masculine has... I was about to say has coming to them, because I don't know why. It seemed like the only way to say it in the moment. I don't know if anybody's here, because I can't see the chat, and it says 2 likes, and that's what it said before I started the video. Whoa, this looks trippy. I like it. All right, first things first. Again, I don't know why, but I feel like divine masculine will deal with the consequences. And perhaps this is the road back to the right road or something. The energy seems so beautiful. I'm really hoping that this is just like not possible. I think this is an interesting request somebody had about using this deck again. And then this is the energy I get. And it's like, what if the DM wants to show something else because of these cards? It's so weird to think that. So, all right, I'm going to ask a few questions and see what happens. What do we need to know? This is the river. But for some reason, it feels like a flood. This feels like divine masculine leaving things to sit and rot. What do we need to know? Wow. This is the card that came out with the energy of like the home life. And it was like they know that they created this energy in your life and they need to fix it. So it's interesting that this reading, this comes up. Very first card, this 9 of Swords, she's almost like, it seems like she's kind of under attack. At the very least, they laugh at her, they mock her. These ancient spirits. That's scary. But I feel like this is really just a dream, a nightmare, and even a like a self-deprecating belief, like I'm in such a bad place that all I can do is believe that they're after me, that I've brought about such a negative place for myself that my ancestors don't even respect me. Shame, a crown of shame. Divine masculine, let things sit. And I think that when it came to us, because I do get there is a little message in there for us that they left us to deal with all the things they never said, all the things they left unfinished. But I think what this says is that in their own life, they have been living with so much shame. And at first it was just about some things here and there, but now it's become this nightmare. Their life is a living nightmare. That's the first consequence of, I think, almost like a spiritual laziness, you know? All right. What else do we need to know? They heard the call. 9 of Swords, 8 of Swords. And I know you might think, oh, some of these cards were in order because you shuffled them, or you didn't shuffle them enough. No, actually, whenever I go through decks, when I first get them, I lay out all the cards so I can see them together, how the families fit. And then I stack another family on top, and so on and so forth. So the cards should never be next to each other. And then I kind of shuffle like, so yeah, this is interesting. You heard the call. You knew the divine feminine was in trouble. This feels very much like, so it's almost like this is the consequence. This Nine of Swords is the consequence of their um their behaviors, their habits is really what I'm saying. The things that they do consistently. This Eight of Swords energy with the trumpet was really a result of them refusing to listen. This is another trait that they have, that they have created some sort of blockage in their own life with this refusal to heed the call. And it doesn't just stop them from seeing the divine feminine. I think that it stops them from seeing all that divine has for them clearly. They have blocked themselves out of their own blessings. And I think the reason, I'm starting to understand something. I think the reason why the energy, I don't know, there was something about it that actually didn't feel like it aligned with the whole path of consequences. It felt like this is where I'm going, this is where I'm heading. And now I see why. Every single thing, oh, this hits in my gut. Every single thing that the divine masculine refused to deal with, handle, let sit, whatever, had an immediate and direct consequence on the divine feminine, or some kind of out of nowhere bomb gets dropped because the divine masculine refuses. This is devastating. There are divine feminines everywhere who have a deep anger towards their divine masculine that it takes a lot of healing to be able to release. I had a bunch of calls today and I noticed there was one thing, the divine feminines that are really pure, they really want so badly to be able to forgive their person truly, like to let go of the things that were done. But I think it's more challenging to overcome that when you haven't gotten a proper apology or even acknowledgement. That's like where it's like, because then you wonder, I'm talking about forgiveness, but am I just mad about something I shouldn't be? And to know that it's almost like you've had to gaslight yourself into tolerating this. It hurts. I think that the divine masculine collective couldn't see the consequences of their ways because the ones that happened before were things they didn't have to see if they just stayed away from the divine feminine, right? Or they could just run. And they didn't know that these horrible things would happen because of their energy issues. I'll leave it there, yeah? But somehow they've become aware. And I think it's because they're seeing themselves. They're getting it and they're going, now let me look around and see how it's affecting other people. That's what this is about. This isn't because you needed them or you said something. This is their own reflection. What else? This is purple. Violet, royal purple. That's what this is meant to represent. Royalty. This gives me kingship, queendom. What do we need to know? Queen of Cups. That this love, this was an ordained love. They refused to wear the royal robes, if you will. They refused to see themselves for who they really were. And in that refusal, I think that it cost their divine feminine the fullness of their, well, I don't know why I'm hearing like dowry, endowment, the fullness that's not it though. There is something that happens when a queen and a king come together. There is something that happens in the land when two good people come together, right, for the good of those. where people are very generous and people are supportive and people are, they go above and beyond. And the divine feminine is missing that fullness in their life because the divine masculine was like, well, you're good enough on your own. You're abundant. You'll figure it out. You got this. You don't need me. But it's like, who told you that? Who told you that? Who told you I don't need you? Well, I think this is a sign that, at least for me, this first row, it feels like the divine masculine has had an issue with what, hearing the call, putting on the royal robes. This is the crown prince. Oh, we saw the king, right? Of wands. Okay. This is the crown prince who has decided that he doesn't want to run the kingdom. He's not into it. Yeesh. All right. What else do we need to know? The scythe, the reaper. This is also seen in the Seven of Pentacles. But yes, death holds this. Typically, right? The angel of death. Nine of Swords is directly above this. It's not a sword, but it is a scythe. All right, Grace, you got it? There's the wand in it. Remember the wand. It's a wand and a sword. This is competing passions. This is competing passions. What does that mean? Knight of Cups. And you want to know, ooh, y'all aren't going to like this because some of y'all are probably not going to identify it. But listen to me. Listen to me. Before you judge what I'm about to say, remember, there are many different types of addiction. You can be a shopaholic. That's a real thing. I believe that the divine masculine made bad choices. They followed the passions of the cup, and this is not love. There's wine in there. You understand? They followed the instant gratification over the protection, over being the masculine, over preparing for the harvest. Instead, they sat around, I mean, almost in this energy of the mocker. There's something wrong. I cannot quite explain it. It's like I feel like I would want to see the Knight of Cups. I feel like I would want to experience, but I don't know. I feel like this is the battle of wills within the divine masculine. And more often than not, they gave into carnal needs and wants before they followed, I think, a divine, what would you call that? Mm, I don't want to say a divine calling. It was more like a divine knowing. And that's the sad part. Well, what else? Healing. They refused to heal. What did they refuse to heal? Ace of Pentacles. Their issues with their life purpose and their this is interesting because I just heard spiritual laziness, spiritual laziness. Oh. They refuse to heal their issues within their spirit and do the work, do the integration work to make it all make sense. They refuse to heal their understanding of divine and what divine does and what divine is here for. They refuse to heal the parts of themselves that had begun to doubt, that stopped believing even a long time ago. Man. We all have healing to do, you know? I get that. But I think the hard part about this is that the divine masculine they knew that it might help and they didn't even try. I'm sorry, but that's one of those unforgivable things. So we have to make sure that as divine feminines, we are ready to go above and beyond to forgive. We have to be careful because this matters so much to them. And they wouldn't even heal for that. They wouldn't even deal with that part of themselves, you know? That also tells us we can't internalize when they won't come save us. They wouldn't even save themselves if they could. They just don't care. And that not caring comes from not a place of, oh, I think I'm better than everybody, so you're beneath me, I don't even notice you. It doesn't come from stuff like that. It usually comes from whatever they've decided they're going to pour all their energy into. And unfortunately for some of them, the you can be a workaholic. You know what I mean? Like for some of them that's the problem. Imagine being a workaholic. Imagine pouring so much into your life and never getting anything out of it. The divine masculines don't always do this so that they can be happy. Some of them do it so they can be comfortable. And when I say comfortable, I don't mean when someone says, "Oh, I want to live comfortably, like I want to be able to afford my bills, take a nice vacation, have a little emergency padding." No, I don't mean like that. I mean, I've been walking on pins and needles and eggshells my whole life, but I've grown comfortable with it. So I'm fine here. I mean that. We've got to remember that our divine masculines, when they walk this path, they think they're the only ones that are getting hurt. That's why they were so fine with it for so long. It wasn't until they started to look around and consider others that it really hit them. And now they're hauling ass the other way, trying to get back to the right path. What else do we need to know? This hand, it makes me think about mankind. It makes me think about the writing on the wall, the things that we know, the unknown, or what is that, unspoken truths, and the social agreements. We know that the polite thing to do as a society, at least in my country, is you hold the door open for somebody if you're coming out the door and they're right behind you. You don't let it slam in their face. It's rude. It's just a thing we all kind of learned. We picked it up from each other. Maybe you had some formal class about how to be polite, but most people didn't. There's some things that the divine masculine knew full well, just like they know. You don't think workaholics know workaholics exist? That's a thing? Shopaholics, you don't think? Some of them say, I'm a shopaholic. Ha 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 ha. These people know when they're doing the wrong thing. And I think that this is like a failure to stand, and this is willful ignorance, willful even disobedience of the divine way. What is it that is a social agreement that the divine masculine refused? Three of Wands. I'm actually curious. I would like to read this. The standard Three of Wands. It's funny, I said writing on the wall. We've got the purple robe underneath. But yeah, he sure ain't with his queen, is he? Jeez Louise. Hold on, Grace. Read Three of Wands. Whoa, whoa. In this deck. Okay. Oh, I opened a Three of Cups. What do we need to know about this? This card highlights the start of a new venture. You're ready for expansion on an inspired idea. Taking action now lays the foundation for something solid, and you should feel excited about exploring your passion. Strategy, planning, strength, travel, time to take action, delay, obstacles, risk, and disappointment. This tells me that the divine masculine refused to follow their heart, where most people, when they get this level of, I think, like divine support, intervention, all of that, when they get that level, they choose to go after it. And we're not talking about maybe a one little whim inkling. We're talking about a divine masculine who has been ignoring the divine call for so long and then throwing themselves into things that were not divine on purpose to help them get away from it. Does that sound familiar? A divine masculine running from their divine feminine, doing everything they can to do anything they know, even some of them doing things that might hurt us. This is a divine masculine who couldn't understand that all special new ventures have risks involved. There are going to be things that happen, but that doesn't mean you just give up. Does that sound familiar? We're talking about a divine masculine who's realized how quickly they gave up on us. This is devastating energy because what we see is someone who understands that they had a chance to do something here, to make a difference in their own life, really, while they complain and pretend that they're ready to go, but they're not. Taking action now lays the foundation for something solid. And not taking action leads to what? Fragile, to a precarious situation. That's what they've done to themselves. By not exploring their passions. I mean, this is incredible that we have put on your robe and you'll be supported. In fact, you're already supported on your own. But instead they go off. And there's actually, in the Three of Wands, he's only holding one, but the other two are kind of off to the side. He's already given up on them. And there's something that makes me feel like he's supposed to be listening to divine and putting his hand where divine says. Touch the pentacles when I say. Heal when I tell you to. There's a purple snake wrapped around this wand. I just feel like this royal robe, putting on the mantle of a divine masculine, could be the healing they so deeply desire. Do you know how many of our DMs want nothing more than to be seen and respected as men or as masculine people? Do you know how important that is to them? I know that there are some of you who have divine masculines that are, in all other senses, feminine. But I think you understand that power that all of them crave so deeply. That's what that raw masculine energy comes through as, is just power. But we're powerful too. Don't get me wrong. But geez Louise. You know what I'm talking about, that intensity? But there's a failure to launch because divine masculine will seek anything other than what they deeply desire the most. Wow. I think that this is really special because this is one of the most validating readings I think I've done. I don't know how many readings I do where you can kind of see the divine masculine's awareness so plainly laid out. My favorite part, though, is the fact that the divine masculine is doing everything they can right now to reverse the curse. But what we have to ask ourselves is, what would that look like? What does it look like for a divine masculine to be repentant when they never have been? How do they know how to ask for forgiveness when they've never done it? They've never really given a good apology. Oh, I'm sorry you feel that way. Oh, you know what I mean? We have to ask ourselves, how do I receive a person who did all these things? How do I trust that they're not going to go back? There's a lot of questions we have to ask ourselves and come to terms with within our own life to be able to deal with the consequences. Yes, this is something they're reversing or walking away from or trying to move on from or whatever they're doing. But remember, we're the ones who have to face it. Just like a soldier cannot have their wife on the battlefield, A divine masculine cannot see their divine feminine wounded, or it will distract and almost destroy them. This is something we must remember. We have to figure out how to navigate this very precarious situation that they have put themselves in, knowing that if someone wanted to get them, just come after us. Oh, that's tough. That's tough. So, what else do we need to know? Hold on, I need a light. How do I do this? Oh, how funny. I couldn't see it, and now I can't unsee it. I couldn't see it first. That there is this fruit, this grapes. And I love that the grapes, the grapevine, is directly underneath the wine. And I think it says, hey, now, remember, don't hate the fruit. The fruit did not do this. It was the user, the overconsumption. So that's a reminder that we have. It's almost like, don't listen to these nightmares. Remember, this is your own thoughts about your ancestors. They would never do that. What does this fruit on the vine represent? And I think the fact that I couldn't see it is important. I think the fact that it's purple and I couldn't see it is even more so important. Because we have a divine masculine who is going to avoid that. Well, what is that when we're thinking about the chakras? That's spirituality, that's bliss. That is being able to see the world for its beauty and to see souls for their beauty. So my question is, well, what the were you drinking? Because it wasn't the fruit of the vine. It wasn't something blessed. And I don't think they knew what they were putting into their body. I think what this says is, here's where the divine masculine wasn't willfully ignorant. They just didn't know. They didn't know the consequences. They didn't think that they could be affected by it. Have you ever met someone who thinks they're invincible and really just doesn't know, like, you can't do that stuff and you don't know how to explain it to them? Yeah. What do we need to know about this? Ooh, that's scary, Justice. You know why that's so scary? Because guess what? Doesn't work. I didn't know I could do that, or I didn't know I couldn't do that. I didn't know that I wasn't supposed to do that, officer. I had no idea. I didn't know that was a bad thing. Well, guess what? It doesn't matter. You still broke the law. If you get lucky, right? 50-50, maybe you get a good judge or something. But otherwise, justice will prevail. It doesn't matter that you didn't know. And this is the stuff that I'm talking about. We have divine masculines who are actively dealing with court stuff. You guys know. So it's just like, we need to realize, even if it's not the literal justice of the law, we have divine masculines feeling the pain of all the things they chose not to learn about. That was a part of doing the work and being an active participant of the journey, is picking up a lot of important stuff. The divine masculine did some things that they're not going to be able to get away with. However, I do believe that what will be something that looks like it was meant to ensnare them will actually turn out to be something that blesses them, simply because they are turning around. This is something that some divine feminines, most of you will probably be fine with that and happy for them, but there are some divine feminines who would be appalled that they would be forgiven, that they would not have to face their karma. No, Grace, there's no coming back from that. You got to face your karma. Twin flames are different. I'm not saying that you can just get away with stuff. I'm telling you, you're more important than that. There is a divine hand on your life if you're a true twin flame. Can't do anything about it. Doesn't always save you. Sometimes it picks you up and puts you somewhere you didn't intend to go. Nothing you can do about it either way. I think that divine masculine may have been trying to avoid that hand when they ran off and refused their station. Okay. What else do we need to know about a divine masculine who didn't know this wasn't okay? So we have the mountaintop, or even you can just say the mountain. What do we need to know about this? Judgment on the mountain. That's so scary. There's something about this that says, I didn't know. This sounds so weird in my head, but I'm going to say it anyways. I didn't know that I wasn't allowed to do that. I didn't know that I couldn't sacrifice other people without consequence. I didn't know that that's what was up there. I didn't know what I was sending people to do alone. Divine masculine didn't know not only that they did something wrong, that there were consequences for it. First of all, imagine somebody tells you you can't do that. And you're like, what? Really? And then someone says, and now you're screwed. I'm talking about people who get locked up when they go to certain countries because they didn't know the laws and they did something disrespectful or outright considered like, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not trying to say it. Don't look over here, people. Look somewhere else. I'm telling you, the divine masculine, when we're thinking about the shift in energies, we're talking about a divine masculine who kept somebody stuck or in a limited place. We're talking about somebody who kept themselves stuck at the beginning. And now we're talking about somebody who, let's just say they have a lot of things that they are going to need to face. And it's not small stuff. It's big stuff. This is showing up in their life in life-changing, life-altering ways. Just remember that, okay? I didn't know. It doesn't matter that you didn't know. Because the real issue here is that you knew you had knowledge to get and you didn't seek it. So now there's no way out, you see. Okay. And finally, what else did the divine masculine not know? That lightning can strike the same place twice. There are things that the divine masculine has gotten away with that I think they shouldn't have, but they did. They got lucky. So there's that invincible, right? Or there are things that divine masculine didn't get away with, but they do it again thinking, well, this time I'll be smarter. Something like that, yeah? What do we need to understand about this? Six of Pentacles. The divine masculine thinks that they don't have to be the loving servant person that we're meant to be as light workers, serving our communities and really our spiritual constituency. We have judgment, judgment, judgment. Because we've got the scales, we've got judgment, we've got the scales again here. And I think what this is trying to say is divine masculine, you will be judged not for who you are in the future, but for who you are right now. Not for your intentions about what you would have done if things had been different, but for who you actually are. Lightning can strike the same place twice, divine masculine. But when you're doing the right thing, when you're being a good person, you don't have to think about stuff like that. You're not always in a storm. There's actually a chance that things can be simple. And I think what this asks the divine masculine to do is be willing to put themselves out there. Be willing to be a good person, like on purpose, not just on accident or when they feel like it, but to like make that their mission And they didn't know that was really a thing. You got to think about how rare that is. I mean, whether it's, to some of the young people who maybe have seen YouTubers who have those like philanthropy channels or whatever, but there's still not that many of them. And some of them are not very nice, for the sake of giving some people money, they mess with them or whatever. So have they ever really seen just being there? No, because guess what? People who are actually just being there, they don't share it. They don't tell people. They just go do it. They just go volunteer. They just go help. If you're thinking about even like the millennial and older Gen Z and even some younger Gen X, what did we really get to see? We got to see a lot of performative love. I think a lot of you will connect with what I just said. But we don't know, and what we do know, a lot of us can't afford or we're too busy for. Like, we can't open an orphanage like Daddy Warbucks. You know what I mean? But like, there's just like, what? It's really hard for all of us. But as divine feminines, more of us are like more likely to have that connection with giving and sharing ourselves. I mean, and if we're talking about the older generations and anywhere beyond, these people either were raised by or were dealing with people or dealing with themselves, wars and depressions. And you know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, we all have our reasons for trying to protect ourselves, but some people got it more than others. And it's not because they're bad or everybody's a MPD, one diagnosis away from. No. Our society, our culture, and many cultures, many Western cultures especially, kind of breeds that individualism, the selfie, the me. For the divine masculine to think about being kind, not just in the future, maybe one day I'll donate here and there every so often, but to think about that as a lifestyle is unheard of for many of them. But the funny part is, many of you would say, yeah, but Grace, my DMs have a great heart. They're so nice. Like, once you get to know them, or if you kind of listen to like what they really want, or if they finally get the money that they've been after, that maybe, Mr. Lightwork was the same way. Could be such a jerk and an a-hole. He was a self-proclaimed a-hole and all that. But I told y'all, I always remember this one. He did a bunch of stuff, but for some reason, I always remember the one time we were literally in the middle of lunch and he did like a double kindness. I wanted to get more queso or something for my burrito. So he went and we realized so he needed to go to the car to go get the card in the middle while he's eating a burrito. You know how hard it is to stop eating a burrito because it's like so he goes out to the car and then he doesn't come back and I kind of waited and then I just started eating my burrito like I'm not going to wait. And it turns out while he went to go do something nice for me, somebody needed their car jumped. And he was out there freaking helping. I was like, this is the guy who's a self-proclaimed a-hole who will just help anyone. Y'all, they're confused. And they didn't know a lot of this stuff because no one ever showed them how to be a good person. It is very rare that I talk to someone who says to me, yeah, my DM's whole family is great. My DM is a kind, loving person all the time, not just when you get to know them or when they're not stressed. No, literally just one of the nicest people you could ever. That's so rare to hear. Most of them are troubled. Most of them have been pursuing darkness, really, for a long time. And a lot of them didn't know that there was a pursuit of light for them. Not all of them are going to get into tarot or astrology or anything that's the spiritual stuff that we do. A lot of them just aren't going to touch that because there is 3D stuff that is so spiritual to them that is just home for them. And they didn't even know. It's really hard to find. I appreciate this message from Divine Masculine because it says, I see you, Divine Feminine. I see what I have done. I see how my refusal to be spiritually proactive, and I guess physically proactive as well, how it really destroyed so much of our precious time. What's the final message here? You are My guardian angel, divine feminine. I want to be your guardian angel now. You have been with me through all of this, even when I did not deserve your presence. And now I want to come to you and be there for you in a way that I should have a long time ago, in the way that you deserved. Y'all, this is really special because to see the angel, the wings with the Emperor and the Hierophant, this is giving me like physical, spiritual manifestation of the divine masculine. This is what's been happening to them while they were in hermit mode. This is what's coming home. This is what this situation that they've experienced was able to create in them. And finally, what's the energy here for this reading? Wow, the Two of Pentacles. The decision, the weighing and measuring, the divine masculine finally choosing the path of light and love and life. The divine masculine understanding. And this to me is what leads to that full energy when we started the reading that felt so different than the heaviness. The heaviness that this reading actually delivered. I was like, what is going on at first? Like, whoa. And it's because the divine masculine is telling us about the path that they've been on and how they recognize each part of themselves just feeding into it, going deeper into the jungle. But no more. They want to make choices and decisions that actually serve them well. And they can tell the difference now between real gold and fool's gold. And so, look what returns. The Ace of Cups. In the very beginning of this reading, the Ace of Cups was here. And I believe we said, well, the divine masculine has a little bit of trouble admitting that love is something that matters, that's something that comes natural to them, something that they've always wanted, they just kind of denied. Well, in the past, they used the cup of addiction, replacing something that was meant to be beautiful and special, and a cup that runneth over, right? The fountain of youth, all these beautiful images come up for what the love of a divine feminine and divine masculine together could bring. But instead they chose to replace it with basically what I would say is poison. If you think about the holic that you add onto the end, this is often a sign that someone is going to meet an early demise. And it's usually in the form of stress. So you're running from stress into more stress using stress. The divine masculine choosing love means they're also choosing life. This is a decision to endure a little bit of discomfort in the beginning while we figure things out in order to experience a long life together. And I think it's really special that we see these angel wings, and then we have these beautiful wings around this cup. And it feels like a phoenix rising or something. I'm not quite sure exactly what this represents, but it does. It just feels like the divine masculine finally reaching a new potential, a new height in their life. And it's funny because I think that they were supposed to come up here a long time ago. But something in them said, if I go any higher, I'll learn things that I can't unlearn. And then I can't do this willful disobedience anymore, this willful ignorance anymore. I can't. And heaven only knows what I'm going to find out, so no way. We see the avoidance. We see how it's shown up in their adult life. Now we know a divine masculine who's decided, I'm going to go through systematically and reverse every single one of these curses. I don't want this anymore. I don't want this on you, and I can't be the person I'm supposed to be without it. I'm a protector. I'm a guide. I am supposed to be your other side, your other half, your divine partner. Mm. Well, my dears, I enjoyed this. I'm really excited about everything that we are going to experience moving forward with these divine masculines. 2024 will be a year of transformation, a transformation season that somehow will have been, warned and shouted from the rooftops, and still so many people are going to not miss it because you can't really miss it. It's not a choice. um, but they're going to be unprepared for it. And it's like, how are you how did you not know? Are you living under a rock? So just make sure that if you are tuning into a variety of different types of readings every day, that you tap into some, if you can. If you don't want to listen to ours, tap into someone that you know is going to share with you beyond what is DM doing right now. Because there's a lot of gems that are dropped in our readings that are supposed to help you become aware of things without having to sit down and listen to like an astrology calendar or something like that. But if you're willing to listen to something that's going to help you get that information, whatever it is, get that as much as you get information about DM. Because there are bigger energies affecting your life and theirs. And you want to be aware of that stuff. You want to know, if there's a big planet going into retrograde, or if there's, if you're more in leaning towards my beliefs and my practices, you might want to know when there's certain things being discussed in the news, is what I guess I should say, because I can't even say what I was about to say because I'm not trying to start an argument with people. So, yeah, guys, we've got to be just really aware, is all. And whatever that means to you, make sure you're not missing anything right now, because this, from now through October, you're going to start to notice some very interesting alignments and planets doing this and things doing that. You're going to go, huh, that's weird. This seems like a lot of stuff is happening right now. Yeah, it is. If you need me, you can find me on my website. My website is thefierygrace.com. I offer long-term coaching, and you can find that under personal coaching as well as reunion or separation coaching on the site. So if you're interested, I do have some plans, and they include at least 4 to 6 phone calls each. It should be 6 phone calls. The way those coaching plans work is there's an intro call, there's also an exit call, and then there are the coaching calls in between. So you'll notice, you'll just see if it says how many weeks or anything like that. You'll know there's 1 call per week, and you can kind of check those out. But if you are like most people and you would prefer to get a reading or have a tarot call with me, you can find that on my website. And this month they are on sale, I believe 50% off. There's also a flash sale going on. So depending on what it is you're looking for, you might want to put both into your cart and just see which one is going to be cheaper. That's what I would do. All right. If you're interested in getting like a reading from me, especially if you're interested, somebody asked me to do a reading for them. They ordered a specialty reading and they wanted to use these cards. If there's any cards that you'd ever like me to use for you and you order any specialty reading, just let me know when you place your order. Um, Anything you need from me when it comes to this channel, you can just leave a comment under any video that I say, hey, is there anything you need to know? Is there anything you'd like me to look into? And just say, hey, Grace, if you could do a reading for this or that. And if I do feel like it's something that the collective could benefit from, you may very well see it, in the next few readings. Otherwise, I am going to go to bed because it's late for me. I've been on calls all day and I have calls all day tomorrow. I wasn't supposed to work today and I totally forgot it was Shavuot. So, whoopsie. Um, think that's everything. Oh, the giveaway ends. Guys, last one. Last one. The giveaway ends if you win my golden ticket giveaway. I send out 5 golden tickets, aka these $100 bills, which are great manifestation tools as well. I send these out, and they're symbolic of 5 prize choices, including like a free reading with me, a free phone call with me. There's 5 prizes to choose from. So I'm just letting you know that I'm going to do this like once a quarter. I probably won't bring this back until after Gracemas though. So this will, we won't do this again. So if you're interested, this will be the only time I do it at $4.44, just because it doesn't actually cover everything to send it. So I have to be careful about how low I put the price. But I decided that the next time I do it, the price will be a little bit higher, but I'm going to make the prizes bigger. So I am just really excited to do this. I loved finding a giveaway that worked. Plus, I get to like mail people stuff. And if you don't win, then you will get a bookmark from me. And this one isn't signed yet, but it will be signed. And it's just like my way of saying, hey, I don't know about you, but it's really weird that we know each other so well from talking like here, but we don't. So I like sending stuff in the mail because I'm a millennial and I used to mail things. And so if you're interested, it's a great way to get a service, but also maybe definitely get at least a free bookmark, if not a prize. So if you're interested, we are wrapping this spring, what's it called? Spring golden ticket giveaway. It's wrapping up on the 16th, which is this Sunday. So if you have made a purchase of $4.44 or more on my website only, nowhere else, because sometimes people say other stuff. I'm like, what? No, on my website only is where this qualifies. You will receive one of these once you mail or email me your mailing address, okay? So if you've already purchased something, all you have to do is reply to the email that I sent you that said, hey, send me your address if you want to enter to win. So I'm going to be sending the last one out next week, right after the 16th. So I'm super excited to see who's going to win. Also, check your mail because I've just sent out another one. And so you should be receiving it. So check your mail because there's another winner coming in soon. All right. That's everything, right, Grace? You've announced the giveaway. I think I might do a giveaway. I think I might do a giveaway between this and Gracemas. Is that weird? I think I want to do like a 50K giveaway. Do you guys remember when I did the 30K giveaway? Guys, I don't know why I just really like giveaways. I think it's my gift. My love language is gifts. And like, this is the best way that I can give stuff away. I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to think about it. Cause sometimes I like to do a giveaway where you don't have to purchase anything. You just have to like be a subscriber or something. You know what I mean? So I think I'm going to try to remember what I did for the 30K giveaway. Cause I can't remember. All right. I love you. I'm going to bed for real. I'm getting sleepy. Okay. Somebody said that if you want to like the video, you just have to tap the 3 dots. People are saying that they can't like the video when it's live on Android, but I have an Android and I can. And someone else said you have to click the 3 dots and I don't have that, so I don't know. But if you're having trouble liking the video, I would really appreciate, to those of you who are like, Grace, you the homie, can you come back? Like if you remember there's a video that you didn't like because it was live and then you see it in your feed I don't know why they would do that. But if you do, or like if you remember, will you just come click? And I know it seems silly, but it actually makes a huge difference for our channel. And I don't know why it's like a whole thing. In the regular YouTube community, people ask for likes and it's normal. But in the spiritual community, it's like, oh, if I don't like your video, I'm not good enough. I'm like, wait, what? It's just a normal thing. It's how YouTube works. So if you guys don't mind, whenever you have a chance, making sure that you do like our videos, it's not, you don't have to. If you want to be contrary or you don't like it, or I don't know why you wouldn't, but anytime I go watch somebody's video, the first thing I do is like it. I guess because I'm a YouTuber now, but I think I always did, you know? It's just a thing that you do here. It's like a courtesy. So if you don't mind liking our stuff, we put out free readings for everybody every week. It would be really great if you could make sure that our channel doesn't look to the algorithm like you don't like it, because that's what they kind of think. If there's a video that everybody watched but nobody liked, I'm hoping that they figure out whatever they did to where you guys can't see it. But until then, I hate to ask you to do anything extra, but if you can, if you remember, if you could do that, I would really appreciate it, because we're doing our best to keep this channel going, you know, but you have to understand there's only certain types of stuff that does well on YouTube or social media in general. If you haven't noticed, if it's not angry, if it's not mean, if it's not drama, it doesn't really do well. And that's a sacrifice we pretty much just gonna have to make. It ain't what it is. I'm not doing it. I'm not just putting out karmic videos every day, because I don't even know if I could tap in that long. That'd be really frustrating. But I just want to make sure that people know we exist, because there's so many people who say, I wish I would have found your channel 2-3 years ago. And in my mind, I'm like, dang, not even once we came across this person's feed. I just feel like that could be the difference maker, is just the algorithm understanding that people say, hey, this is some good stuff here. So maybe it'll work, maybe not. But either way, we just appreciate you guys for being here and being kind in the chat and being open. Those of you who share your stories and experiences with other divine feminines who might not have anybody to talk to. So at least reading your comment makes them feel like, ugh, thank God I'm not alone. So that's really what's important, is just us being this beautiful tribe that we are. If you can't figure it out, please don't stress yourself out. All right, I'm going to bed. I'm getting super tired. What's wrong with me? Bah. I love you. Good night, everybody. Good night, Brooklyn. It's funny because there's going to be somebody that's like, my name is Brooklyn. Why did you say that? I'd be like, I don't know. I was doing a thing. I was doing a bit.